for all things Halloween. This is hauntformer, and happy 2022 to each and every one of you. I'm so glad to be back here on YouTube, and I'm kicking off this year with a pretty interesting unboxing, as you can tell by the large box behind me. What I'm going to unbox for you today is, well, at the recording of this video, a secret. Supposed to be. But if you're reading the title, obviously you know what this is, at least somewhat. What I have today is an oldie but a goodie. An old decoration, a Halloween decoration from a while ago. At least 2007, 2008 era of Morbid Industries. The original name of Morbid Enterprises before they went defunct. Rest in peace, Morbid Enterprises. We'll talk about them as we take this thing out of its package. As you can see... Sorry, that was lame. Behind me, if I bring them up here, I have another old Morbid Enterprises, Morbid Industries product, Spasm, whom you may correlate with the Russian sleep experiment creepypasta. Now, let's unbox this thing and see what we're dealing with. Where did I put that? Scissors. Here we go. Now, if you're wondering where this thing is from, it's from a little company known as Lights Alive. Something that one of my subscribers on here notified me that they actually have some pretty cool old vintage Halloween props on it. Most of them are gone now, unfortunately, but hopefully they'll get restocked sometime soon. So, let's see what this guy's all about. And hopefully I did not receive an empty box, but by the weight of it, it seems like I got something pretty legit. I'm gonna set it right here, because I want you to be in on the action as I unbox this thing. So, whoa. Here we have Lights Alive. Just a little recipe. And now we can dive into the product at hand. Wow. Okay, it's a little messy here, but I'm going to try to remove the prop from its packaging so we can get a good old look at him. Now, as you can see, I'm going to bring him up towards the camera. This, if I can... Well, let me explain. This is an old prop, if you can read the tag there, known as Demon Trance. Now, Demon Trance, if you've seen any stock images of him, I'll put him up here. There's some old catalog images, too, from Morbid. But his hand's supposed to be kind of extended like this, kind of like the classic look of Dracula. Obviously, his hand is not so. I can tell that there is a wire in here, which I probably will have to work on. I don't want to completely ruin him to shreds now. This thing is rather old, although this copy looks pretty darn good. So I don't know if this is like the most recent edition, I say lightly, of Demon Trance here, or if they just really kept these things in like some secret underground bunker. Because like I said, this thing is over, oh gosh, at least over like 13 years old, which is crazy. But this one is in really good condition. As you can see, Demon Trance does not have a lower body, nor does he have his other arm. Basically, I think the idea of this thing was to have it look like it's coming out of a wall, or something like that. But I really dig Demon Trance here. There's some really good detail all over his body and on the face, on the teeth. Of course, he has that classic Morbid Industries tag that has graced the likes of Spasm, Hex, Grimrot, Grossferatu. There are a lot of other old Morbid Industry products out there, but this one I thought was pretty interesting and one of the few on the website that I had never really stumbled across anywhere else. His hand has 3 to 4 fingers, depending on how many you count that as. And his face has 2 horns, 2 evil eyes, all of those creepy teeth. The body definitely has some wrinkles in it. Again, this is probably a prop that's been shoved in a box for a long period of its lifetime, so I'm glad to bring it out here in the sunlight. Although, as you know, with a lot of these latex props, they have a tendency to dry rot. Thankfully, this one's not dry rotting at all yet, which is really nice. But something to look out for. Don't leave them out in exposed sunlight for long periods of time. Watch where they are by water. They're temperament-based products. So, the fact that this has lasted for as long as it has, same thing with my Spasm and several of my other foam-filled latex props, which are amongst my favorites, by the way. I'm really glad they've survived this long. So it's really exciting to see Demon Trance here still managing to scare for Halloween of 2022. How exciting. I'm really excited to have this guy. If you can think of more things that you'd like to see me unbox, send links or whatever my way. Here we go. Look, that's basically, I think, the idea of this prop. See how his arms kind of extended out like that? Took a little working throughout the course of this unboxing, but we're kind of getting there. Trying to be careful of the skin on here, that latex skin. But man, this is a really cool product. There's actually some videos of this thing in a dark ride, which is pretty darn cool. Obviously not anything from Disney or Universal or anything like that, but the fact that this is on a ride at all is pretty exciting. I don't own any demon props that I'm aware of, so to make this my first is kind of special. Kind of special, I will say that. So, if you want to check out Lights Alive, feel free to. Granted, there's not a ton of props like this on there anymore, but there are a lot of neat lighting and prop control gimmicks that you can find on there. Thank you again for watching this video. I'd love to send you toward Morbid Industry, Morbid Enterprises direction for more props like this, but sadly, props like this are kind of out of commission, and Morbid sadly is no longer around. But they live on through awesome products like Demon Trance here. Thank you for watching, and remember, for all things Halloween, this, I'm having too much fun here, is hauntformer.